What is up, everyone? Today on the AI Operator podcast, we are joined by Jared Robin. Now, he is the co-founder of RevGenius, a dynamic community that has grown to tens of thousands of GTM leaders worldwide. Now, from an early sales role at FedEx to building movements and advising fast-growth SaaS startups, Jared brings a powerful blend of empathy, strategy, and community-first thinking. So we're going to explore his journey, the art of movement building, and how vulnerability and value-first networks are redefining GTM leadership. Jared, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you doing?
I'm chilling, Jordan. How are you?
I'm chilling, but I got some energy. And you hyped me up a little bit before this, so I think now I'm a little more alive. It's 10 p.m.
I
here in
know.
Germany, as I had mentioned. So, yeah, we're excited to have you.
Let's go. I'm humbled and grateful.
I love that. I love that. So, you are currently on the East Coast. What state? I didn't get your state.
New York City.
New York City. That makes more sense. You got the New York vibe going. I'm a West Coast guy. Is that going to be a
That's
problem?
cool.
That's cool. Okay, cool.
No problem. I mean, like, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. Yes. Amazing. So, we were just having a quick conversation. I don't want to dive too far into it until we start chatting about it. But GTM and this revelation that is this industry now, and if it is an industry, is it a bubble? Was the actual post I just saw and referenced a moment ago. So I really want to dive into that. But can you share a little bit about your background, where you got started, and how you ended up where you are at today?
All right. I'm gonna make this as concise as possible, but 7 years at FedEx, Fortune 100 selling, top rep in the world. Let's go. 4 promotions, everything. Um, what I won't tell you is that I was at 3 months at Seamless Web before, and I was just cold calling people. That became Seamless and then Grubhub, a couple acquisitions, but I left because it sucked. I didn't want to cold call office managers for $32,000 a year at the time.
Makes
But
sense.
from FedEx, I'm like, I got to get some equity or something. Went to the startup world, worst decision of my life, and also the best, right? I had to take a pay cut. Forget product market fit. I didn't even have a product. The first company I worked for somehow went to Series A profitably. Somehow exited that company legitly, and on the side, I was building a fashion magazine specifically for emerging fashion designers because it was different. There's a big problem. The problem was all the best fashion brands were seen time and time again. They had all the PR, they had all the money, they had all everything, and they were in Vogue, New York Times, all these big outlets. And I'm like, well, the emerging designers were actually doper, cooler. The garments were more forward thinking, and I'm like, we need to give these people some light. So created an online fashion magazine, um, just featuring designers 5 years or newer, avant-garde, luxury sportswear, high-end streetwear, through massive parties, lines around the corner in New York City for Men's Fashion Week and stuff like that. We were both men's and women's. Trend forecasters came to us. We won Best International Fashion Film Awards. I didn't know anything. I came from FedEx wearing a suit and tie, and now I'm growing my hair long. And if it would even work, not wearing ties anymore. And doing this thing on the side while my flailing startup, which unbeknownst to me would actually get to Series A profitably and sell years later, was doing that. I wasn't getting paid on time. I couldn't pay rent. And I was just um, partying and building this fashion magazine, but it was different. And that was the first movement we built because we rallied the people for this new thing against like mainstream fashion. And trend forecasters that came to us, big fashion companies or big apparel companies like the Reeboks were using us in their board meetings, the designs that we put out. And we were really tight with Parsons School of Design, which is like the best design school in the States. Central St. Martin, what up? Arguably top in the world out of UK. Just depends on what country you're living in. But like enterprise sales, did the whole thing, built blockchain art marketplaces and found myself without a job before COVID after losing it from a marketing agency. I guess I didn't close enough outbound business, and all my business I was closing was inbound. I get their point of view is a little weird because I was crushing it, but regardless, that's how it was, and built community because I was into it, and I want and more importantly to get seen. In COVID, it was really hard to get a job. I started posting on this LinkedIn thing because I had time, and like I figured that was a pretty good strategy to try to get a job, not try to become an influencer, not try to sell a course or anything like that. I just
Yeah.
wanted a job. It was 2020. That's what people used to want in 2020. Um, what ended up happening was I made a lot of friends in the comment sections and opened up a DM group, which grew to 27 people. And it started shutting down every day because people were talking so much in there. And it was just like rapid fire messaging because people needed a place to belong. And then I realized I had something different on my hands because the community space in GTM had uh, people like Revenue Collective, which was paid and senior leadership only at the time. Um, Sales Hacker, which was just like an awesome content website. Modern Sales Pros, not paid, senior leadership only. Bravado. We don't have any idea what Bravado is. Still don't. Tell me I'm wrong. But like, I'm like, is there really not something for everybody?
Yeah.
That's no cost because I thought like the evolution of social media or whatever could happen, and we hit this like crazy inflection point, like we all might die at any minute, and we just really needed belonging. And we also needed everyone to be there because GTM was evolving hella fast, and VPs of sales were now becoming CROs. RevOps came about. SDRs now knowing more about outbound and selling than VPs of sales because times were moving fast. The whole playbooks were, going every which way. And we needed to get more diversity too in the space, and especially in senior leadership. So like, I'm like, everyone needs to come in and be a part of this. So one thing led to another. Started RevGenius, asked a boatload of people to join every single day. Enough said yes to grow 1, 2, 3,000 members a month. We have about 60,000 members now. Boom.
Incredible. Incredible. What a journey. COVID changed so many things for so many different people. And I've actually had like a couple conversations about COVID and how it impacted their business positively,
Uh-huh.
which is, yeah, interesting. I actually worked for an organization where we did in-person events. And then all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden COVID happened and we couldn't do that anymore. So we shifted online. And at the time, Zoom only had a capacity of like 30 people, I think, in a Zoom room. I don't even know if it was that early 2020, January, February. And we were actually working with the engineers of one of the first organizations to help build Zoom into, an online event platform where we could host thousands of people. So, we kind of watched
Shout out
Zoom.
Hopin and the others that just absolutely dominated and got market share and
Yeah.
made money and couldn't sustain it, but they already made their money. Shout out.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job. Biggest exit of a company that never happened. I don't know if that's the
Um,
truth, but something.
But yeah, so pretty in interesting time for a lot of organizations and people like yourself who found community, found this online space. And I am interested because I've actually just joined the community for the first time today. How did you see it grow over that 4 or 5 year period? Obviously, you said you had a few people, then you had a few thousand people, and then at that point, the genie was out of the bottle, if you will. What did that growth look like for that platform?
I asked about 300 people a day via LinkedIn DM if they wanted to join. About 30 of them said yes, so that was about 1,000 a month from a growth standpoint. The big growth loop that you could see, I have 4,000 people with RevGenius on their profiles. It used to like crush, used to be the most engaged post when they announced that they were part of it. So there was something we called the RevGenius effect. You announce that you're part of RevGenius and your profile views go up to the right like hockey stick. I probably got like a handful of texts like that over time. So like that was the growth loop that built on top of it. But
Mhm.
the sauce really underneath all of that was people knew I was doing this. I might be copying and pasting some of the script, the prompts, but I wasn't using automation, and they felt that based on me replying really fast when they're like, "Hey, is this a bot or something?" And me also helping manage the community and like putting myself in there. I think being human, working fast, and really understanding my ideal member profile like helped, build allegiance to what we were building. And also is like the coolest thing. Like everyone was going, and I had a lot of support. Um, it was really cool.
They
And
wanted a
then
home,
people
right?
wanted a home. They want to be a part of something. And then um, after everyone wanted to get their own, so to speak. So like, everyone's building their own brands and stuff, and lots of love and respect for it.
Yeah, that one I want to talk a little more about the personal brand side in a moment because
Hmm.
I have very little want to do that as a CEO founder, and
Hmm.
I find myself in this constant battle in this day and age of like I have to have a personal brand, and then the other part of me is like, or I could just be good enough at what I do with, outbound marketing and paid marketing that no one ever needs to know who I am, right? I can build this brand without me even being a part of it. And I definitely bounce between those two. What has been your experience of kind of building a personal brand and maybe talking with people
So
who go
yeah,
for it?
I think this is great because like essentially you want to do traditional old school GTM, just like put your head down and do it. And people have some people want to do personal brand. Let's take like the idea of personal brand out and put in, because I think that if you do, because I think personal brand um, doesn't necessarily align with the company,
Hmm.
right? Like unless you're the founder. And Dave Gerhardt coined the phrase founder brand, I guess, working with like Dave Cancel, et cetera. So Dave Cancel with Drift. So um, I like so I like the idea. So first off, personal brand, if you want to build your brand while you work with someone else to gear towards side hustles, that's fine. But let's just like take a step back and how like this new GTM is, and more importantly, how to build a wedge and build a movement with whatever you're doing and looking at it differently. So the founder evangelizing their company is probably like the top growth lever. But what does evangelizing mean? Some people say it's just like sharing stuff on social. Sure, like people are getting tons of demand from doing that. Some people say it's uh, promoting their company on social. Sure, people have had all experiences with that, good, bad, and indifferent. Like whether it I think it starts with the founder, the new GTM, because that's your biggest growth lever. If the founder's selling, they need to be evangelizing. Cool. So is this personal brand? No, this is an extension of the company that you're starting. And even if you work for a company, but you want a side hustle, what you say and what you do is an extension of that side hustle, whether you realize it or not. And you need to start being smarter with that, understanding it, to like really align. So what do you say? I'll be vulnerable, do all this. Sure. That's great. And that could be certain pillars, but I think you have to think about it like a content leader. But even more importantly, if instead of doing your outbound marketing or whatever, like if you're just going to market in general, you're going to a market that's already created and you're hoping to get a piece of that, right? You're presenting a pitch deck to investors. The market's this big. If I just get 1%, that's $1 million. I think I could do it in 6 months. I'm going to need this money. I'm going to backtrack in it. And then I'm going to 10X it and crush it. That's typical go to market. That's a typical strategy. And we get $1 billion because the market's 100 billion. And I think we'll be at 1%. Those numbers make sense, but execution of it doesn't always, right? So like that's typical go-to-market. And that's also like going with the mindset of I'm better or I have more features, right? There you have competitors already. This is why people should use you. I do more, I'm better, I'm cheaper, etc. Now, that's one way. Or second is you could create the market and you could lead a movement. So going to market, you want to make your product viral. Like, let's go around Riverside now. Let's go Riverside. Um, Creating a market, you want to make the problem, the villain, go viral. Okay. Think about that. No more software. Drain the swamp. I could go on, right?
Yeah.
When you make the problem viral, and one of those examples, I don't want to pick a side. I just want to show the potency of that. And you really understand that problem. You framed it fully. Software is too expensive. It's clunky. It goes down, all of this. You need somebody there. It's on-prem. And then the solution, they're going to come to you for the solution, right? If you know this problem better than anybody. Like we talked about signal-based selling and like how everyone's like going into it. Well, you could create another signal-based selling company, or you could say like, hey, signals.
Signal-based selling's dead.
Well, I mean, that's so simply put, right? It's not a hot take. It needs to be.
Yeah.
Signal-based selling doesn't work. Or selling on triggers is selling after the fact. Let's frame it, right? That's reactive selling. Forget signals.
Good way to put it.
So if you're reactive selling, it doesn't have to be hiring. It could be anything. You're doing it after the fact. Well, Jordan, like, so the people come to you and they say, fuck, do you have proactive selling? Well, yes, I do. We'd love to talk to you for it. What the fuck? You win if your product actually works, right? So like, I'm not saying your product can't work and you still win. It needs to do the thing. But you see what I'm saying? Like I'm framing. So it's not signal based. That's the enemy. It might be reactive because if it's, and then you frame it. People use signals every day, hiring, technographics, all this stuff. And what that does is with the success of that company's data, these people are flooded and they're scared to update their LinkedIns. So it's creating a worse place because people are in fear of like doing something that's going to trigger a signal because they're not really in the market because you know why? They actually would have been, but they bought a product 3 months ago before all these signals hit. So the signals were right. They were just late. You see how I framed that a bit? And now all of a sudden, as the founder, I'm evangelizing this. And everyone else is like, damn, Daniel, like, wow, like, yeah, I am noticing that. And I'm joking. I'm speaking to like top sales development managers. I'm like, what I've noticed about signal selling isn't that the signals work. It's the message that you're sending still. It's the message. It's not enough, right? So it's still good outbound is needed and it doesn't really differentiate that much more, but I guess it's enough. That's one example, right? So now so now personal brand becomes an extension of you rallying against the status quo. So even if you're a person working for a company and you want to launch sales training, why the fuck does the other sales training not solve the need? Like, are you just trying to get yours too? In which case you're just trying to be better and respect because you can make a 6-figure, maybe even 7-figure income doing that. But if you're trying to change the motherfucking world, do something different. Otherwise, who cares about you?
I like how you talked about framing the problem as kind of the villain problem.
Make the villain go viral.
Yeah,
That's what you
villain go
care about.
viral. And
Reactive selling. And then you start screaming. Reactive selling is dead.
yeah.
We're in an AI world. Why are we reacting to human triggers? We have to be smarter than that.
Yeah, I like that too because at the end of the day, I feel like it gives a founder or the evangelist, if you will, whatever role they may be in, um, almost more of an exciting premise to base all of their content on versus a lot of and I'm in the service based industry, to some
Mhm,
extent. I got another a SaaS company as well, but in the service side, I just see a lot of people talking about a lot of the same stuff. So,
mhm.
it's a really good frame.
I call that the sea of sameness. See what I did
Yeah,
with the villain there? What else are
yeah,
they doing? They following the same playbooks?
oh yeah, yeah,
Are they
and
writing respond playbook at the bottom of the LinkedIn post, all capitals?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hurts, right?
tough.
Yeah.
I actually am. I get a panic. It's funny you mentioned the signals, like you don't want to update anything on your LinkedIn because you get a bunch of phone calls or, messages. And I'm literally my co-founder is so funny. She's way more active on LinkedIn. She kind of runs, our
She's
LinkedIn
smart.
motion. She is. I'm like every time I log in, I'm just like overwhelmed by all the
So your
messages
link
I get every single day of all these people, all these signals,
so
and DMs. I'm just like it's incredible. And I honestly part of the fun is scrolling through the DMs and just seeing like the copy paste of like the five before it are the same as the five after it. So it's really interesting. I don't know. I get it, LinkedIn's
it
tough for me, man.
so
So
what is so it's funny, I'll frame social selling as a problem. Like social selling
yeah.
represented a chance for like a deeper level of authenticity than like
Mhm.
old school cold calling and all of this. And like old school selling, I'm sorry, social selling 1.0 hit that, right? But then what happened was the same tactics you're doing on the other channels, you're just bringing into social selling, and authenticity and trust is ruined. Fucking ruined. You just have it as another network. You might as well show up at their door in person as well, which frankly would be a much better strategy. You just
Wouldn't be
can't
a
do
bad
it at
strategy.
scale. Um, so
Yeah.
I'm in the process of framing like something against social selling now. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like you have to move it. Like do you want to be a better social seller in this fucking trash? Hell no. Hell no. Social selling software was great until it got heavy, clunky, da da da. Now we have to put it in the cloud. Salesforce said. You had cell phone in your pocket until Steve Jobs took out the first smartphone. Then only drug dealers and criminals had cell phones, right? The flip phone. Because there was a better way, a new way. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I love that. On that topic about of authenticity, on a
Mhm,
podcast last week, actually, on this, we talked a lot about this as well. With authenticity in a AI AI era, you have all of this GTM clay tables flying around with a
uh-huh.
bunch of information. We're still reactive to your point. Where do you see the biggest breakdown of authenticity when it comes to AI specifically on LinkedIn?
Oh, I mean, people are just trying to hack the algorithm on LinkedIn, period. And AI and templates and all that are big. It's funny. Um, AI gave us the promise of whether this is good or bad, gave us the promise of more autonomy. Yet you need to be more technical than ever with that. And then people are just like trying to hack the algorithm. They don't give a fuck, pardon my French, about anything outside of pipeline. When I get that, but caring about the people and doubling down and like creating a solution for that will have a way higher ceiling. Way higher.
What do you see as the or do you see a shift coming, a bubble, if you will, when it comes to hacking the algorithm, making your LinkedIn posts with five lines and spacing it below, all these little rules everyone follows and the clickbait. Where do you see this bubble? Because to me, it's kind of a bubble. It's just like anything. That I've seen on YouTube. We do a lot of YouTube, and how people post videos on YouTube has changed. It was super high production for a long time, and then it went to like, a guy with his shirt off, doing a Loom video, but breaking down an incredible concept, right? And those went viral. And
So
now we're coming back to TV style or YouTube almost. How do you
so
see that?
everybody's chasing a carrot, right? Like
Yeah.
essentially everybody's chasing a carrot and standing for nothing. Nothing. Even Mr. Beast is standing for something. And he's chasing that carrot too and all of this, but like he's created in his chase unique programming and pulled people into his new market that he created, right? He even created something unique. And you could argue that he's like the GTM alpha of them all in creation, stealing a term or borrowing, I should say, a term that's out there. But in that process, he got so over the top creative and like crazy testing things that he did build a new type of creator category, right? Like, I don't know if it's shock creation or like games or
Yeah.
whatever. And he literally has Mr. Beast games. So you get the idea. Everybody else is trying to follow his footsteps. And how are you being truly original? So I think the irony of what's happening is people are thinking they're getting more creative and they're getting less by far. By far.
Yeah.
Because they're doing things for impressions versus creativity. And I will say short term, that might feel good and stuff, but like, and that might drive revenue. But I think long term, it has a very low ceiling.
Yeah. I just got two things out of that: stand for something, and then find some originality in what you're actually doing. And that'll put you
Rally.
light years ahead of everyone else right now. And then as far as AI, when it comes to AI, because this is the AI operator podcast, right? And man, I went a little too deep down the AI rabbit hole. And when I say AI rabbit hole, nothing that cool. It was me overusing ChatGPT to do thinking of my own. And I'm super guilty of that. And actually, it's the whole reason I got this little notepad. I went back to notepad and paper because I noticed my own brain shutting down. And then it was, I forget who it was, but I was sitting there working on like some copy for an ad or something. I could not get it to sound like I wanted it to sound like, and I had this vision of what I wanted. And I was sitting there trying to get it to sound like that. And the person I was on with went, hey, why don't you just write out what you want? And it was one of those funny moments. It's such a small comment, but I was like, yeah, why don't I just write out what I want? Like, it has taken me longer to get ChatGPT to write what I want instead of me just writing what I want. And that was a big change for me. I'm like, oh, whoa. So I went way back, pendulum swing to the other side. I was like, I'm doing everything on paper. And then I might put it into ChatGPT at some point. If I need, additional ideas or more so actually to connect the dots that I might not have been able to connect myself to something that, because it does have such a great network effect, and research that, I might not be able to go read all the books to be able to connect the dots between these 2 points I'm trying to. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we have the opportunity to go back to first principles with everything. And the people that are the strongest at AI are the ones thinking first principles. Like, do I need 120 tools in my tool stack? Do I need to connect AI for this? I read a post the other day that was hilarious. It was like a crazy hectic N8N post that, for my inbound, I connect my form with N8N. It goes to my CRM. It does a round robin functionality, picking which rep for what. Then I've connected it to this loop-de-loop, that, and the next thing to book time. Or you could just fucking buy Calendly for $15. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
like, awesome. You over-engineered the F out of that. So I think people are over-engineering. Sometimes a point solution is way better out of the box. I get
Yep.
wanting to hack everything, so to speak. But I think people are getting lost in anti-simplicity. Like, I read also today that somebody now, they're like, I've used HubSpot in this context for CRM. I've used Salesforce in this. I've used Pipedrive when I had no budget. Now I just use a Google Sheet because the only thing I care about is the last interaction and the deal value.
Yeah.
So, like, let's simplify it all the way down because we've overcomplicated everything. And if that means you don't need the AI, you need a paper and pen, do that. Do that, please.
This is such a good conversation for my clients. Hopefully some of them will listen to this. Maybe I'll clip this section for them because
First principles is the biggest differentiator for
first
you.
principles. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges we've actually ran into in the last 6 months is clients coming to us and saying, hey, I need this thing. And my first question is, oh, amazing. What are you trying to accomplish? Right? What are we trying to do? And I mean, 99% of the time, there is such a simple way to be able to accomplish this. And then the question is, okay, so, obviously, if there's a simpler way, why do we want this? And it's essentially because I've been told that I need to have AI in my company. And where it's really led me to is actually, and you talk about the antithesis, like this the villain story. Part of my villain story recently has been don't out.
What's the name of the villain? Name it.
What was that?
Frame it. Frame the villain and then name it. Let's go.
Yeah. So
I'm going to build this muscle for you.
You cannot out automate bad behavior. Quit automating bad behavior, essentially. Because we have all these sales organizations who have shit discipline, poor discipline inside of their sales process. So the sales manager can't manage it anymore, and they get tired of managing these people. So what do? They start coming up with systems to be able to prevent holding their people accountable for simple and basic tasks. And this is a huge problem that I see because your tech stack gets ever complicated because that one sales rep won't do something. And you can't fire that one sales rep because you have failed as a manager to create a pipeline of potential hires, right, that you trust. So you can't let go of him because he's your revenue maker. And you don't have a pipeline full of people. So you can't let go of him.
Why can't you let go of them?
Because they're scared, because they're going to lose that revenue.
Who cares? So going down first principles rabbit hole, right? Like, what's the opportunity cost if you don't do this? Right? Like really dive in. That's important. I just started canceling tools that I'm paying for to like be lean. So I cancel when they send me a note. They're like, why'd you cancel? I said, I only use this one feature. And he kind of sensed that I only use it. He's like, this drove 500 people. I'm like, I didn't even say like over what period of time. Like, I'm paying $200 a month for 500 people. Like, and by the way, 300 of the people came from RevGenius.com and they clicked the link that I have there. So for maybe 200 people, and he's like, I get it. Like, I'm like, I'll schedule time to do you the solid, but like, I'm fucked. And plus the rest of the stuff, he's like, what about this? I'm like, I'm using another tool for that. Like, why do you need 5 signal tools? For instance, how many people listening to this have Clay, Common Room, Unify, Warmly? Like 2 of them. How many people have 2 or more of those tools? I bet most people well, we just use clay for this. Use it for something else. Like, why not use it for everything if you're comfortable
Yep.
using it? Well, or sunset clay. Well, everyone's using it. Why? Like, do you need that? And I
Yeah.
think that's the first critical thing. And then second, like, you have to be more people are more flexing their technical skills than ever. And I think that's good to like be like this AI native person. Um, I think the first companies to build AI that's human native, ChatGPT's done a good job, but like the GTM tools, I should say, that are like ChatGPT, will win. And then like marketing programs that are human native and outbound structures that are human native. Imagine that. The people who
Yep.
could be the most human, build community, build audience authentically, um, will have a fighting chance.
Hmm. Yeah. It's yeah. The first principles thing is so big. Um,
Actually be creative. Actually think for yourself. Think for yourself. Now, not a lot of people know how to do that, to be honest. And that's a whole nother thing.
yeah. Well, there's already a lack of discernment, and then it's doubled down by, well, I'll just ask ChatGPT
Uh-huh.
to to discern for me, and now it's like you already lacked it, and now it's only going to tell you what you want to hear. That's the other problem. People don't even know how to prompt AI half the time, so they just get information back of what they actually wanted to hear in the first place. Um,
Before
yeah,
AI, they chased down somebody's playbook though, or bought a
yep,
course, or
that's
people
fair.
preyed on them to
Yeah,
pay $99 a month for something, so
yeah. What's your favorite go to market tool right now?
I don't
Just
know.
in general, like
Um,
coolest. Doesn't have to be like super feature heavy or like just coolest feature.
I I like ChatGPT, but I've massaged it in a way that is unique to me.
Yeah, tell me
Like,
more.
I'm not asking it how to go to market. I'm asking I'm going down, I have, like, a path of prompts where I'm looking at the difference of companies with one another, um, and then starting to build their point of view separate, get some villain ideas from there, get some wording ideas. Like, wording is everything. It is so critical. And then get a starting point to start testing things,
Mhm.
and come with feedback loops. So ChatGPT is great. Um, Notion's okay, but like, oh, my favorite CRM, even though I'm not using it, I just went to Adia, Clarify.
Mm,
I really love Clarify. They're not right for us yet, but as soon as they are, Adia knows I'm out.
yeah.
I don't even know if they know I'm in. I just like paid for it off the website, like 2 licenses, no biggie.
Where do you think HubSpot's going to end up in this whole thing over the next 2 years?
Uh, they're big. So like, it's hard for me to tell this exact second because I don't know if anybody has the balls to like dam them, so to speak, dam the demand. I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase.
Yeah. I'm not, but I
So
know what
like
talking
here's the
shit on
deal.
HubSpot since we've dealt with that
Like
in the past.
like software, all the demand was going to software.
Yeah.
Salesforce put a dam up and said, go towards cloud because software is bad, right? Like the dam is like the villain. Why you shouldn't do that? GTM engineer, damn, go to AI GTM, right? Like just wait,
Yeah.
Jordan, you're about to see the future. But like you get the idea. Like so I'm watching Clarify and if you go to Clarify site, like, okay, what category are they building? CRM is so big and everything. And that is true. You can't change the naming all the way overnight, but they're just calling it the autonomous CRM. We're just calling it almond milk, right? Because you can't change milk. We're just calling it um you get it, like oat milk.
Yeah.
Milk isn't going anywhere. Is oat milk even milk? I don't even know, man. Like, are there even animals that like, no, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation. But like, and then like liquid death, it's just soda water out of a can. But like,
Yeah.
what's the movement they're building? Like, it's against microplastics, bro. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Microplastics are dangerous. Like they literally want to kill them, which is kind of
Mhm.
badass.
Yeah.
So like that little thing. So like if everyone starts building the autonomous CRM, I'm sorry, if the autonomous CRM takes off and everyone's now looking to go from CRM to autonomous CRM because it's the new thing,
Yeah.
um, then Salesforce and HubSpot may go in that way. But like, here's the deal: like, all bets are off right now. Like the most creative people are going to win. Like Claude owns the MCP language, right? That's actually a category. ChatGPT, OpenAI owns the GPT language. Gemini is a GPT or whatever. Like they pulled it in.
Yeah.
Claude is a GPT, but they also have an MCP under there, and OpenAI. Now, if you go behind the scenes and try to connect things, they have an MCP server themselves. So I think we're going to see people, the winners, like integrate with everything. I think there's going to be a lot more people, less people trying. And I know you didn't really ask this, like, will HubSpot lose or whatever? Over time, yeah, but they might
No, no.
lose to like OpenAI for all I know, or like I don't think it's Google, but you get the idea. And I think you're going to see a lot more vertical integration. Well, I mean, you are, but like you're going to see a lot more companies with API products. And I think because data is so damn important, I think it's going to be data, it's going to be connectors, and it'll be like one like unique UIs to put on top.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be first party, third party data going into like a clay like system. I say clay like because I don't know if that's going to be the one. So you're going to have like your triggers, your proactiveness, and your enrichment all in a layer, showing which accounts first. I think you're going to have a UI on top, a lightweight autonomous CRM that knows how to connect with all this data to make decisions, right? And and workflows intermixed. That's it.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm missing something.
No, I think it's a great answer. And, we've been trying to stay super creative as well, to your point, because the idea of autonomous, CRMs is, I've talked about that for probably 8 months now. Like it's going to be here very, very soon. We've actually built a couple versions of it internally just for fun, which was essentially, the self-updating CRM, and we don't even share it with clients because the tech's a little too complicated. Like it doesn't solve a big enough problem to actually build it, but we can do it. Essentially, you hang up the phone and then it goes in, it creates your custom activity, it logs all of your fields, it updates your status, it leaves your notes, right?
It's
And
in
you
a
just go
Google
on.
Sheet.
This isn't closed CRM.
Oh, why do you
It's
need a
yeah,
CRM like closed? Why not just a Google Sheet? Like just like a database.
we could do both. Yeah. Yeah. But we love close. So a lot of our clients were on there.
Okay.
So we were like, what if we could do this, And essentially a couple hours in, we're like, oh yeah, we can do this. And then we did it. And it's really cool. But it's, again, I don't know how many problems it solved. I love the idea where you were talking about having the layers, right? And it's able to kind of shift deals around and pull up, things as it should. And um, you'll have that
Based on
minimal.
interactivities, based on both proactive and reactive triggers.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jared, I know we're already
I'm sorry, not proactive, predictive and
predictive.
reactive triggers. There's
Yes.
nothing actually predictive needs a little extra machine learning oomph to it if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Awesome, Jared. We got to wrap up. I want to be respectful of your time.
Let's
So this was
go.
a great conversation. Though I would love to. I could go on for this stuff forever.
Check
And I
out
would love to
Clarify. You might really effing dig it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm gonna write it down. Um, and we have a lot of
Clarify.ai.
clients in different. Some are GTM, some are just inbound focused. A lot of high ticket
Sure.
coaches and stuff. So everyone's a little bit different, and we try to find the best solution for each. But no, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, Jared. I appreciate the. I think my biggest takeaway was the villain problem. And we need more villain problems. And as soon as I started thinking about that more and more, some of my favorite brands out there, they are the villains. They are the ones killing the norm and creating a movement behind it that
Well, they're going after the villain, right? Name your favorite brands. Name 2 of them.
my favorite brands. We have Mortal Munchies is one of them.
Oh, I don't know that.
Right now. It's a really, really cool brand. And I would say, what's another one?
Or like the biggest company, like your favorite big company or something.
I'm digging N8N right now. I like N8N a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what their villain is. I need to dive in more.
Yeah. But yeah. So
I don't think they really
Um,
have one. They've just like been going to market.
yeah, they popped up. They're a really interesting brand because, I wouldn't say they have a villain story. They kind of just popped up out of nowhere. They were pretty quiet about it upon entry. You don't
I
see
knew
a
them
lot.
a while ago. They came to RevGenius and they're like, "Hey, we want to work with you."
Nice.
And then they disappeared. And then in the AI part, they just came right out of nowhere. They raised a hefty round.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, Jared. Well, where can everyone find you? I know you're big on LinkedIn. Obviously, RevGenius. We'll leave both links down in the description below so
Yeah.
everyone can find you. Anywhere else you'd like to hang out?
In
New York?
Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jared at revgenius.com or hit me up on LinkedIn. If you could find my cell phone, call me. But Apollo couldn't today when they cold called me, so go figure.
There you
They
go.
cold called me as somebody else. Hard to buy
That's
data
funny.
from those guys.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Jared, thank you for being on the AI Operator Podcast, and we will see you on the other side, man.
Thanks, Jordan.